Welcome to the ladies' room.
So we all know about the Instagram model who killed her boyfriend. She claims it was self-defense.
Mhm.
But it struck news not only because it was such a vile act and, just shocking to see that, a young model has killed her young boyfriend, but it started to circulate even more because this man had been very public about his disdain for Black women. All right. And a lot of his comments about Black women were very vile, very negative, and not very helpful at all. One of his comments was, "I can't believe people actually think I like Black women." And another comment had to do with Black women being unattractive. So there are just so many different negative things that he had put out there. And so he had this white girlfriend, and she fatally stabbed him. I think this happened last week. She has not been charged, and she's claiming self-defense. So that's a little bit of background about the story, and I just want to know what you all think about it. Who likes to go first? No, nobody.
I
What do you
just
think? Oh, Jova, you want to add?
I had, this whole and we've talked about it so much on this show. This whole culture of people who are dating and then somebody end up getting murdered and killed or abused, it is becoming a lot. Like I am I'm concerned about people's mental health and wealth as they're dating people. Like their whole approach to the dating scene and if they're healthy enough to date people. Because I think a lot of people are entering, and I know this is kind of a curve of what we actually talking about, but I am concerned about people's perceptions about dating. I am concerned about people's perceptions about not just the race they want to date, but do they even love themselves? Like for you to say you don't want to deal with someone that essentially looks like you, it's some self-esteem and self-hate issues there. I really do believe that. And I think that people project that onto, they divert from talking about self-hate to, oh, well, Black women are this and Black women are that. But essentially, if you're not biracial, your your mother looks like the woman that you don't prefer to date. Your aunts, your sister, women that you normally come in contact with. Like I'm just I'm not amazed, but it just really concerns me that it's so much people who self-hate and they don't acknowledge that or they're in denial about that and they're actually out dating other people. Like it's scary. It's really scary. And then you're categorizing certain people. He categorized this woman as somebody he probably could see himself with, maybe based on just appearance. And then now we see she's capable of actually taking him out, which she did. Like
Yeah.
that's my take on it.
And there's a little bit of, I guess, some, you know, lack of clarity about what happened. I think
Right,
that we don't know all the details. You know,
right,
at first thought it's like, oh my gosh, she just viciously killed this man. But then she claimed self defense, and it's like, okay, if he really plunged at her, she claimed, and was choking her, then we can kind of see
mhm,
her, defending herself. However, we've seen this before, right? So
right,
it's like you don't know what to
right,
believe. We've seen, I know in my own personal life, I've seen issues where you have a non-black woman and who kind of turns the cards around a little bit and use their privilege to say, oh no, this was self-defense. So we've seen that happen. So we don't know if this
right.
is just her cry for sympathy to get
Yeah,
away with what she's done, right? That could very well be the case. Or it could be the case where here's a woman who should not have been dating, like Jovo was explaining, and did something like this,
it's
abuse someone, and killed them. So It's just interesting.
It's really just, I mean, honestly, I'm just concerned that there are so many people who they lack love for self to the point where they turn it into, oh well, I don't like these type of women because of this. Like I see stuff, and you see again, we got violence and dating hand to hand. Like it's concerning.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my take on it.
Okay. What do you all think? Cannon, what do you think?
I think that it is sad and unfortunate whenever someone passes away. And my condolences to his family, and I'm sorry for that man.
Nothing more, right? A lot of women felt, and I'm not sure this is why you don't have as much to say about it, but a lot of women were just they were struggling to have sympathy for him. Did any of you kind of experience that? I personally, I won't say I have sympathy for him, but I do recognize that what happened was very sad and unfortunate, and I hated
It's
that it happened
unfortunate,
to him.
the irony of it all.
Yeah, I think there's a little irony to it because he spent it's one thing to not really like Black women, but it's another thing to be very vocal and adamant about making sure people know you don't like Black women. And he went out of his way to make that case. For those of you who don't know, his name is Christian Obus. I think it's Obumseli. He was killed by his IG model girlfriend. Well, I guess that's not important to know, but she's a non-Black woman, and this man was very insistent on not, and very vocal about not liking Black women, and it is a little ironic, right, for to be so adamant about dating out as though dating out solves all your problems, right? Like it just solves everything. You don't have to pick well. You don't have to use wisdom. You don't have to have any foresight. You don't have to have any relationship skills. It's just about not dating a Black girl, right? So yeah, it's a little bit ironic. And I don't have the heart to just be like, oh, who cares? Or, oh, that's what he gets. Like, I wouldn't say that. And I haven't seen any women say that. But for some women, I have heard a few women comment like, oh, well, I'm having a hard time being sympathetic toward him because he was so vile to, Black women, right? But anyway, what do you think? What do you think? Who wants to go first, Raven or?
So what was the worst thing he said about Black women?
I mean, he said a variety of things. I'll pull a few things up. Let's see. He was just basically.
He said one of my friends asked me about why Black women know how to twerk straight out of the womb. Then he said, not knowing the whole time, I don't date Black women or I don't like them. Some said. Then a bunch of other stuff. I don't know.
Well, first I gotta say,
don't nobody. One thing was like, I can't. It's funny or something that people actually think I would like a Black girl or something like that. Mm-hmm. That was one of his comments. Go ahead.
Yeah, he would constantly say, I can't stand the Black girls in my class. Like they get on my nerve and I don't like them. And he just say,
I don't think no one should ever be harmed because of their voicing their opinion about what they don't like. I don't care if the people that they voice their opinion about feelings are hurt. You're not supposed to be killing nobody about it, right? But because I mean, I think we all have our
we didn't kill
people that we won't date. Like I'm not gonna date this time. I think we all have, but we're just not making it a point to hurt people's feelings by saying it in public and out loud, right? But that still don't. But if we did, and I'm pretty sure I have said some things along the line of about the women that I wouldn't date. I don't think it was about Black women, but it really don't matter. But it's about whatever group of women you choose to talk about and why you're not going to date them. I would hate that they would just come and just kill me because they heard me say that. I don't think that's.
We didn't kill him.
Oh, what happened?
The white woman killed him.
What? So I'm lost now. What's she killing him for? He like her?
Yeah. So and I he's so funny. So it's funny though. I was looking up some of the comments that
What's
he
going
said.
on right now?
Right. So it was a white girl that killed him. He didn't date black girls, and he was very adamant about not dating black girls. So
he was dating this white Instagram model that was like she only dates rich black guys, and she
yes, and exactly.
The friends and stuff said that they had a very volatile relationship.
Oh yeah, she didn't kill him because of that. What?
Right, but
who made this story up?
No, it's not because of that. It's just that, you know, in 2020, social justice change and reform and things like that, and social justice movements, especially around black people and black men, are mostly led by who usually takes the charge on that these days.
Yeah, I understand that, but she didn't kill him because he refused to date black women.
So what I'm saying is that so then the group that usually steps in when there's some type of racial injustice, that's like, you know, let's go ahead and take not.
All right, so we gonna talk about that because I believe she killed him out of self-defense. So I don't think she was taking up for no black women and just killed him because he refused to date black women and stuff like that.
That's not what we said. No,
Darwin. No, none of that.
What we're saying is that, like, even his brother came out, right, to kind of make a comment and say, oh yeah, he made all these comments and things like that, but put that to the side. We still have to fight this racist system that's letting this white privileged woman get away with it. Like, basically trying to implore black women to step up and advocate for him the way that we usually do.
And since you don't like black women, they don't feel like they should.
Right. We like.
Well, I wasn't even kind of going with that angle. Some women might feel that way. I didn't even know that there was like a push for that, right? I was more so just thinking about, it just illustrates a lot, right? It illustrates, you know, how a lot of times we're pointed as being so horrible, right? Like, you just can't find no good black woman, right? You know, they don't submit, they don't do this, they're that, and the other, right? He's one of those guys. He took that angle. You know, black girls ain't it for him for whatever reason. It wasn't just, oh, you know, I like white women are this, white women. It's I don't like black women, right? And so it's just very telling of how a lot of times these guys who are thinking along those times have not been self-reflective about what they really like and why they like it, you know.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. You have all these issues about black women not doing this, that, and the other. But this woman, a 25-year-old woman who's very clear that she doesn't just date black guys, she only dates rich black guys. Let a black woman have said that. That would have been a problem, right? Mm-hmm. And then not only that, she's not the submissive type. She says, I like to be submissive in the bedroom, but in my life, I don't like anybody telling me what to do. So to me, when I hear things like this, and this is just one of many examples where, you know, you have these guys who are like, no, I don't like black girls, so they're this, that, and the other. But then they turn around and get with non-black women who are not what they say they want. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like, are you being honest about what you like?
A lot of the black men
and why you don't like it. Because my whole thing is, if you don't want a black girl, okay, you don't want a black girl, but it's like, are you dating non-black women just because you don't want a black girl? Like, it just does not make sense because there are so many black women. You can't put us all into one box. It's like, if you want a white girl, you want a Hispanic, just say that. It should be about them, not us. You know, that's all I'm saying.
When I talk to men, the black men, most of the men that's saying stupid stuff like that are men that's not even dating white women. They got their experiences from black women that have hurt them, and that's what they go off of when they say, I don't want to date black women. But they not, because I asked them, I say, have you ever dated a white woman? No. So how can you even try to compare this? Like, if you dated 10 black women and 10 white women, I'm pretty sure it would probably equal out to the same disappointment that you had with the 10 black women. It's not about the woman you date, the color of the woman you date. It's all about you. You either gonna treat them how you need to treat them to coincide with what they got going on. Y'all can be happy, or you're not. And I think a lot of black men
choosing looking for the right things.
Exactly. It's just like when people say
the right things.
It's just like when people say, I hate shopping at Black-owned establishments. What was you talking about? You only shopped at you had one bad experience with Black-owned establishments, but you've been shopping at white establishments all your life, and I'm pretty sure through all your life you had a lot of complaints about these white establishments, but never stopped. So you have one bad experience with a Black establishment. Now you don't want to go to those establishments. So Black men always talking about Black women because those are the only women that have hurt them. Now, if they really start dating outside their box and start dating all these white women, they will have the same experience, and they wouldn't be saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna date Black women." So I only really know, and that's just common sense. Like you only date Black women to have that type of perception about Black women, because you dated white women just as much you dated Black women, you would have about the same thing.
Yeah, but why are you being racist?
You have disappointments on both ends.
Like, why you can't just be like women? Why you got to be racist?
Because everything is grouped up. That's just the way the world
I don't be hearing other groups of men be like, I don't date my particular group race of women. Like, they'll say, like, if they're mad at women, they'll just be women generally. It's literally only Black men that I hear specifically.
She is not lying.
Specifically pedestaling other women over their own women. I don't see that happening in the other communities, really, generally. I don't hear.
Like, you can have a really bad experience, in high school, and then in college, and then after college as a white man, and you don't hear too many white men.
That's what I mean. Like, even
white women are this,
right?
But we do it to each other. It's weird
because the way we look at the world is so separated, because and it always goes back to the slavery and stuff like that. Everything is grouped up with us. We've been tossed into certain groups since then. So we always want to try to group everybody else up. You know what I mean? Like the light-skinned Black guy, the dark-skinned Black guy, like we always been grouped up. So it's just, we still doing it.
Yeah.
Everything is just so divided.
I think people just need to. I think people just need to, and my favorite manosphere word, accountability. I think people need to take accountability for their personal experiences. Like, just say this has been my personal experience versus, oh, well, this is how they are. Because just like Cannon said, growing up in rural Georgia, I've never heard a Caucasian guy say, well, I don't date white women or Caucasian women. I've never heard that. And I mean, I grew up in what people would constitute as quote unquote redneck country. Like, I've never heard them say that ever. Like, people just need to.
The problem is that we're also racist against Black people.
Exactly. And you just made my next point. Exactly.
We are also racist against Black people. So you may hear white men say, I don't date Black women. You hear them say that, and then you'll also hear Black men say it too. Because they want to be racist too. I don't understand.
And then going back to what I said before, it's the self-hate. Like, we have been conditioned to, just like Darwin said with the analogy of patronizing Black business. I can't tell you how many older Black people I grew up with that just, hearing as a child, oh, well, you know how we are. And it's like, dang, y'all can't be supportive. But just like Candace said,
it's internalized racism.
It is. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And I just wish people would just acknowledge that, and I've done it. I'm so guilty of it.
Well, because we've all been indoctrinated.
Yes.
But I mean, the key is to challenge it.
Exactly. And acknowledge it and own it.
You don't want to lean in. You want to kind of try to combat it.
Right. And not turn it into, because y'all combative and y'all are this or that. Just all these character attacks, it's absolutely just. Yeah. And I'm wondering what the manosphere has to say about this IG model. I'm wondering what.
I'm sure they're going to turn it on.
I haven't really heard much from them about this entire thing. It's been pretty quiet.
Surprise. Yeah.
They've been mostly talking about the article that came out about Black women dating out. That's what they've been talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
My thoughts and prayers go out to his family. I think it is unfortunate, like you guys said. However, I was looking for the article, but I can't find it. Did you guys hear about, it could have been a rapper, I don't know, somebody was on maybe Breakfast Club talking about how they like to be called a slave?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys see that? Okay, are we missing something? Like, is there some kind of I don't know, dog whistle going on where they want to be subservient again? What is going on?
Yeah.
No, no, that's still in line with the same pathology that has been going on. It's just that he vocally expressed it. See, this is what I think we're struggling with, right? Or I'm maybe not struggling with, but maybe just flabbergasted by that. A lot of these things have been more subtle before, or you would like kind of have to look at academic research and then to find a kind of like, oh my God, Black men are tying their value to their penises and want to dominate white women to have access to be closer to white men. And they feel like this is because white women have been propped up in society as a trophy or as a something that's been off guard, that's been taken away from that they can't have. So it's like forbidden. So it's something that has been pedestalized. So they feel like, if they get it and can have sex, then that makes them somehow that gives them more value. I mean, Nick Cannon said it a couple years ago, where he was like, that's the ultimate thing, whatever, Black man. He said it, and then so when Mano says that, it's in line with
because but the whole slave thing throws that off though. Because how's he dominating?
No, but think about it. When she asked him, she said, because she said, you'll be okay with her calling you N-word. She said, but why would you? And she said, you wouldn't feel no kind of way after that. And then he was like, no, because the black DICK
came over.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the mind. Like, yeah, you took, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's it's the.
Well, I think I think there's a component of wanting the forbidden fruit, and I'm not saying this is for every Black man that decides to date out. I am not saying that. Okay, I know this does not apply to every Black man who decides to date out, but I do think that there are some men who have that desire to conquer something that they have not been able to conquer before, that forbidden fruit. Nick Cannon mentioned it. My dad
1901
used to talk to me, but it's still there, because think about it. In some communities, there are still white men, who are like, oh, you got a white woman on your arm, like you shouldn't be with that Black man. There are still people who think like that. There are still girls who can't take home their Black boyfriends, and they're still forbidden. Even on TV, white women are held to like this other type of standard, like, or not standard, but they're
pedestalized as like the standard.
Like they're the meeker, more feminine sex. They need to be, they need to be cared for and protected, and so it's like, oh, that's kind of like forbidden, it's like you're a Black man, you can't get your hands on that, you know what I mean? And so I think there's a component of like that forbidden fruit that some, not all, that some Black men kind of have, whether they admit it or not, but they do. My dad has talked about this before. Like getting something that I couldn't
get in the comment section.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I say gotta get out the comment section. Talking about be submissive no matter what.
Shout out the prenup guy. What's going on?
Hey.
No matter what. Go, bro. Go ahead, baby.
Titanium says the old people used to say, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home.
Hey, my grandma still believes
like that. Even and I'm happy that he brought that up, because some Black women do that to their sons. Like, don't bring home that white girl. And so, of course, it's like, ooh, that's been forbidden.
This just goes to a certain group of Black men trying to fit in with a certain group of white men, or a certain group of rich Black men. Because the Black men that's saying this is not date the white women that they talking about. They dating the trailer park trash white women when they go date outside the race, right? They not going to get no high paying, no high value white woman that's got some good, because they not, like you said, they're not going to bring them home to their blue collared friends. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that's just not happening. So these Black guys that's talking about saying they don't date Black women, they date white women. Is what white woman? The trailer park Becky. That's who you date, because you're not dating the one that's whose colleagues are millionaires and have some type of name for themselves. They not bring you home. Those most of the men that's talking like they're some type of high value, like they have like they can pick the woman they want. No, you can't. You better stick to the the black women that like
to the rivers and the lakes that you used to.
Exactly. Like you think you got some choices, and you really don't. You know, that's not black women that's about to treat your ass bogus. It's the white women go treat your ass bogus too. They go treat your ass worse. Matter of fact.
I have stories, you know, from people in my family that I love who went through this same thing. You know, there was a guy, I probably shouldn't be telling this story, but I know a guy
What's his
who
name?
was adamant about not dating, you know, black girls. Oh, black girls this, black girls that. And his father was like super, you know, supportive of this thinking. And he had one chick that like keyed his car. He had another chick that, you know, cheated on him with his
white?
best friend. Yeah, she was white.
Uh-huh,
No, Dan turned around and accused him of abusing her because people found out about it. Like, and then I know so many like stories about that, you know, about this happening to brothers, and I'm just like, what's not clicking for some of them is not the color. You know, it's not that you chose a black girl. It's not black girls.
I don't understand
it's you and what you're drawn to, or what you are choosing, or maybe
Yeah.
who you are as a person and what you're attracting.
But we should know that
Depends
about
on how
the
you grew up,
accountability
though.
part, anyways, because
Depends on geography.
They don't have no accountability. So of course they're gonna pick any reason that they feel that's gonna take them off the hook. So they're gonna use the color, or she's a whore, or any reason they can use to not have no accountability. So that the color thing is a perfect.
You know, back in the day, my grandma, you know, she's born, you know, my grandma, in her mind, she think if you link up with somebody that's white, in her mind, oh, it's trouble. There's trouble brewing. And we grew up with that, just like Cannon, you know, talked about that whole mentality. Because you got to remember, you know, some of our grandparents and great grandparents, they grew up in a time where if you were caught in public, you know, even look at Emmett Till, you know, that whole situation. You get caught in public like trying to holler at somebody who white, or even look the wrong way, you could be strung up from a tree. That was a real thing back then. So that carries in families. And then I've even heard of some black men dating white women they're in a rebellious phase. You know, I'm gonna date somebody, I'm gonna bring somebody home that my parents can't stand to look at. You know,
right? That's
what's
forbidden.
Yeah, because you know we off the chain down here in the South. So I had some. Shout out to my high school classmates. I've had some classmates who you just knew y'all didn't care about each other. Y'all out here, you know, making y'all parents worried about your livelihood, like just because I grew up in rural Georgia, and you know, it's like it's what I call like quiet racism and quiet separatism. Like, you know, we ain't out here burning down your houses and hanging, you know, burning crosses in your yard, but it's understood, you know, this where y'all hang out at and this where we hang out at. Wow. And this is, I mean, and that's the most dangerous type of racism. You know, you had that back then. So it depends on where you were raised, because it's different, you know, in different regions and different, you know, cultures.
All right. Well, thank you all. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic. But if there's anyone who wants to join us, there is our StreamYard link. It will also be in the chat. You can join. You can also call in and give us your little 2 cents or 10. What did they say? 2 cents?
Titanium said they date Mama Junes. Yeah, exactly. That's who they date.
I saw that. That was funny.
Or it's my 600-pound life, because how many times, I hate to say this, but you watch that show, it's like this woman who weighs 800-900 pounds and she white, and then you got the black dude who her boyfriend, and he's bathing her, he's fixing her meals.
Because most of the guys that I know in the hood, black guys that I know, the white women that they date ain't own nothing. I be like, of course you do. Look where you picked up from, the Greyhound bus station. She didn't have a home, nigga. She was homeless. What you talking about? Like I'm talking about all of them. Like, you know, they not dating that the cream of the crop of white women. So But then they want to act like this white woman is so much better than this black woman, because of course this white woman doing everything you ask, because she need a place to stay. She, you know what I'm saying? She hungry, nigga. She ain't about to go nowhere.
Oh my God, you are so crazy. But I mean, that happens. I've heard a couple guys say that. Like,
They
or
not
say that about
really,
another guy that
think
they
about
know.
it. What
Like,
black
oh
guy
yeah,
you know
she's
dating
just
a white woman that's a lawyer or a neurosurgeon or astronaut or something like? They not dating them high value white women. They not.
High value white women.
all right. So anyway, I do want to say, you know, like Raven said, or Mrs. Understanding said, you know, blessings to his family. God bless his soul wherever he is. I hope that, you know, but it's a teachable moment.
That white woman need to get persecuted to the fullest level.
Yeah, it's a teachable moment.
I mean, it's murder. Like I've said it before.
We don't even know what happened.
But she murdered him.
Don't matter. She killed somebody. She got to go to jail.
She murdered him.
Was he choking her?
It could have, supposedly he was choking her, but like I said before, you don't really know.
Exactly.
If
That's
it was
why
a black
I said
man,
thoughts and prayers, because
if
I'm
it
not
was
putting them
reversed,
much
he'd be locked up.
So I don't know if you read, there was another article about the same story. There was a history of abuse with this couple. Like
I heard that.
She was like very like disrespectful to him verbally. And then it was something in there that said something about she didn't like his friends or didn't like him to do stuff without her or something like that.
Okay.
So, you know, it's like, I mean, I get it, but she murdered him. Like, he dead. Like, she need to go in front of a court of law like anybody else would.
Yeah, I agree.
She thought she had herself a slave, a mandingo.
Mrs. Understanding, you were gonna say something too.
Just go do that. She went to that black man.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a whole lot of blurred lines here, because as a woman, I want to believe that, you know, another woman was protecting herself, blah blah blah. But I know how white women are, like you said about Emmett Till. We ain't gonna act like they ain't got a history of lying. You know, they keep getting assaulted by random black men in elevators, and ain't no black men ever around. But you know, they you know, hey man, they be telling the truth sometimes.
Join us live every Tuesday to participate in the conversation at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.